Do you want to create AI music videos to get a lot of views? AI has opened the door for so many creatives that don't have a formal background or training in filmmaking, yours truly being one of them. But I'm going to share with you my entire thought process on how I created my first 3 viral AI music videos. We're going to be talking about the thought process, the tools, the editing, the whole 9 yards. I'm not leaving anything out. Let's get right to it. So there are a lot of channels out there to talk about how to create AI music videos or how to create AI films. And most of them actually just share with you the tools and the tips and maybe the prompts and things like that that go into creating the images, or maybe the AI tools for creating the video from images, but they don't really go through the entire thought process. Now, one thing I think you need to understand is that there is definitely a difference between being a filmmaker, a videographer, and a content creator. So my thoughts are that to be a filmmaker, you're trying to tell a story. If you think about any film that you've watched, you are telling a story. Where you have a content creator, where you're just a videographer, you're just kind of just shooting footage, or maybe doing things that are going to grab attention, not necessarily telling a story. So realize that when you are creating an AI music video or any music video, you are trying to tell a story. That was the intent of the artist, of the musical artist. They tell a story through their lyrics and through their musicality. So you, as an AI video music producer, you should be trying to tell a story with your visuals. All right, so what do I mean by having a basic knowledge of filmmaking or photography? So I've been doing photography for many, many years and filmmaking for many, many years, but only just recently decided to kind of go professional with it. And by professional, I mean getting paid for my services. So there are a lot of sources on the internet that you can look up, and I'll leave those in the description below. But just having a basic knowledge of things like camera angles, lighting, camera types, film types, movements, things like that. What's a dolly movement? What's a panning? What is close up, drone shot, overhead, low angle? All of that stuff can really help. And with your lighting, the lighting can actually set the mood. Now, what's really nice is if you do have a knowledge of this type of lighting, you can use it in your prompts with Midjourney. Now, Midjourney and Flux are going to be the two image generation models that I use the most of, and we'll get into that in a little more detail later. But when you're able to incorporate this knowledge into your prompts, and there's a cheat for that, and I'm going to be talking about that, it will make your images and your story that much more stunning and eye-catching. Okay? So things like cameras, a Sony Alpha 7 IV or a Red camera or an RE Alexa, can all produce different types of cinematic images. So depending on the look that you want to get, knowing these camera types, and again, there are a lot of resources online that can help you figure out which camera type to use. So I'm not going to go into that in too much detail. But knowing which camera and look you want can definitely help drive your storytelling. So I know one of my favorite was the Cinestill 800T. I used that a lot in my first, I think, 2 AI music videos, and I actually really love that camera. But I've been experimenting with others like the RE Alexa and the Red and Hasselblad, so I use different ones. But my whole point is, make sure you do your research so you can see just exactly what type of look you will want in your AI music video. All right, so let's get to the most important thing about creating an AI music video. And of course, that is the song. So, my advice when deciding to create an AI music video is find a song that truly resonates with you, one that really gets in here. I know there's a lot of pressure to maybe find something that's going to be trending, but remember, a trend is just what it is. It's a trend, and then the trend is going to stop. You want to create something that's going to be lasting. So I say find a song that's going to truly resonate with you. Now, my song was actually Stay a While by Rakesop, an EDM group, and I listened to all their albums. I really liked it. And the one benefit of it was they did not have what I would call, they had an official visualizer video, but they did not have like a true with characters type of video. So I found that to be pretty compelling to say, you know what, I'm going to create something that's going to be going beyond a visualizer, which really helped with my creation. So make sure that you find something that really resonates with you, because I feel like you're going to put a lot more of your heart into it. And as you listen to a song, you start to envision things, and then that's going to actually take you to the next step, which is storyboarding your vision for your AI music video. All right, so I want to say one more thing about picking the right song for your video. Make sure you're very careful with picking a song that already has a banging video, because chances are people are going to watch that video and not really go to yours. So for example, when I decided to do Michael Jackson, Heaven Can Wait, there was no video to that song. If I would have tried to do like Billie Jean or Thriller and do my own version of that, I'm not so sure you get a lot of views, because number one, you really don't want to do Michael Jackson wrong and create something that's totally crappy. And then the next thing is, most people just are probably going to watch the original video, not yours. So be very careful with the song and the artist that you pick. If they don't have a video, or if they have a visualizer video, that's actually pretty good to create your own vision or concept video for their song. Hope that helps. All right, so let's talk about the next most important part of creating your AI music video, and that is storyboarding. So what do I mean by storyboarding? So storyboarding is actually a graphical representation of how you want your film to look from beginning to end. It can include details such as camera angles, settings, lightings, all of that stuff. Now, if you do a search out there, there are tons of free storyboarding software. So as you can see, when I just did a search in Google for the best storyboarding software, you had all of this pop up. Now, interesting thing is LTX Studio right here actually does include some storyboarding features in it, and I've actually used LTX Studio and I really like it, and I would say give it a look to see if it's something for you. LTX Studio basically is an all-in-one AI filmmaking software. All-in-one. Storyboarding, camera, image to video, all of that stuff. So I would give LTX Studio a look. And even Canva has a storyboarding feature to it. So I'm going to give you my background and what I think about storyboarding. I don't storyboard. I storyboard up here. Sometimes I'll write it out, but for the most part, the way that I storyboard is I listen to a song over and over and over, and I build it scene by scene. And the reason I do that is because usually one day the song makes me feel a certain way. The next day I think of something different. And I'm also not a graphic artist, so I don't feel like drawing things out. But I do have a sequence of how I'd like the story to go. And usually I think about the beginning, and then I want to think about the end. What is it that I want to do at the end? Now, there is one particular kind of song where the end usually becomes difficult. And I find that with songs that are like 4 minutes or longer, it really becomes a really dragged out process. So I have a little trick that I do for that as well. But for the most part, I listen to a song over and over and over. And when that idea for that next scene pops into my head, then I start creating the images for it. And what's really interesting is now with the software out there, You can do some really interesting things when creating your AI music video. So me personally, I don't storyboard. I've tried to storyboard in a physical sense. I storyboard up here and build it scene by scene. And I want to point out something that you can usually tell when somebody has used AI to create the entire music video rather than building it scene by scene. And if you want to create videos that are really going to get a lot of views, I suggest you build it scene by scene and take your time. Thanks for watching. Be sure to come back for part 2, where I will be talking about the different prompt generators, image to video generators, and editing your video. And as always, if you found this helpful, please like, share, and subscribe so you can stay up to date with new advancements, tools, and information on how you can make viral AI music videos. See you next time.